Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Dark Knight Studios coming at you with a new video. I'm going to warn you right now, this is a spoiler alert. Do not continue on with this video. This is going to be some spoilers for Season 5, Volume 1, Episodes 1 through 4 of Stranger Things, the final season. And spoilers for Stranger Things, the first Shadow stage play. And why I do not believe that Vecna is the big villain that they're making him out to be, and that the real villain is the Mind Flayer all along. So let's get into it, okay? Vecna, as a kid, him and his family live in Nevada, right? Okay, this is from the stage play. He goes exploring one day, comes upon this cave with a bunch of this equipment in there. Well, and this is all the stage play, like this all is canon according to the Duffer Brothers. And a piece of this equipment activates and it sends him to, guess what? Dimension X, where the Mind Flayer and the Demogorgons and the Demo Dogs are. And the Mind Flayer goes into Henry. Changes his DNA, changes his blood, changes him. Henry's been flayed as a kid. He's missing for 12 hours. He gets found. He's forever changed. He's different. Apparently, like, attacks another kid in school or whatever, so his family decides to move to Hawkins, Indiana, where I think at this point he's kind of pushed the trauma out of his head of going where he was. Well, he gets taken by Brenner, I guess, disappeared in November of 1959. Brenner experiments on him using his blood, and I think that blood is what makes him create all these other kids with powers. And 11, that's how 11 came to be. And I think somehow his blood got into Will, and we'll get to that here in a minute, why I think that. But then you fast forward to 83, Henry tries to convince 11, who's a kid, to join him. But the way he's talking, when it seems in Season 4, is he's talking like he's not human, like humanity is weak. He doesn't say we, he says they, or something like that. I'm like, huh, I didn't realize that until people have been talking about it on YouTube. I was like, yeah, I was like, you know, he's talking like he's not human himself. And that's because I think that's the Mind Flayer in control. And so what happens is 11 unleashes her powers and sends him what he's claiming to be the Upside Down. It's not the Upside Down. He gets sent to Dimension X, and per he has forgotten that he's already met the Mind Flayer before, but the Mind Flayer makes him give him the shape of a spider, because it had seen how Henry likes, you know, it had gotten Henry to like spiders, and so that's the shape he had it give him. Mind Flayer's in control the entire time. And so I think he's been flayed the entire time, and it's been the Mind Flayer controlling him the entire time. We fast forward to this season of Stranger Things, episode 4. It's such an insane episode. So much happened. And again, this is spoilers. But we see Will is somehow seeing through the Demogorgons of Vecna's eyes. And there's one point where he's sitting there, they're in this barn trying to protect this kid, Derek Turnbow, and he makes this painting. Like this, red spires, right? You look at the shape in the middle. Huh, isn't that interesting? I thought, is it just me, or does that look like the shape of the Mind Flayer, and all the red things coming down are all its legs? You know, like the shape it made in Season 2. Or Season 3, I should say. Isn't that interesting? Because we saw in Season 2 that the Mind Flayer's particles went into Will. But it wasn't really the main big bad villain until Season 3, when it took a full-on shape at the mall. So that is why I think, based on that, Vecna is just the 5-star general, as Dustin said last season. And the Mind Flayer is the one in control the entire time. And if you look at the stage play, which the Duffers have said is canon, it's like, it makes a lot of sense. And there's a reason why I think Vecna's taking these kids. Some people suggest he's starting to realize that he's been flayed the entire time. And some people suggesting he's taking these kids to use their powers to go against the Mind Flayer. I'm not sure about that. But I will say, massive spoiler, at the end of episode 4, Will has powers. Yes, Will Byers has powers. He sees through the Demogorgon's eyes Mike in trouble, Lucas in trouble, and Demogorgon's going after Robin. And he sees through the Demogorgon's eyes going after Mike, and Mike's like this, and then Mike looks up and the Demogorgon's sitting there just frozen with his claw like this in the air. And then you look and you see Will back there holding the Demogorgon off, and then you see Lucas and he takes his other arm and that Demogorgon stops in midair. And you see it going after Robin, and he goes like this, ice, pure white, like Vecna's. Interesting. And you see that Demogorgon up there, and you see him like that, and you see the Demogorgon's raised in the air, and then he drops his hands down, and he Vecna's the Demogorgons. So I think Vecna's blood is in Will, and it gave Will powers. So, I think Vecna's just a 5-star general. I think the Mind Flayer will turn out to be the big bad, but I think it's going to take on a new form, like the Thessal Hydra, which is like a 5-headed dragon that they have to defeat. Or, foreshadowing back to season 4, Will had a drawing of a 3-headed red dragon that it looked like Will, Mike, there was like 3 or 4 people fighting against it. What if that is going to be the final form of the Mind Flayer? So, like this video, comment down below if you agree that you think the Mind Flayer is actually the big bad villain. I've been suspecting it since season 4 ended. And this just makes me even more confident that the Mind Flayer is the villain. And if you guys, you like this, if you like Stranger Things, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.